Hello, welcome back to So Into Bourbon. I'm Glenn. This is Charlie. Charlie, why don't you tell them what we're doing tonight?
Tonight, a battle of the double oaks.
Ooh. All right, so battle of the double oaked. Double oaked whiskeys have become very popular in the past several years, right?
Absolutely.
People love them. People love them.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
They are delicious. A lot of people say it's like cheating. Get out of here with that take. That's a terrible take. Go on. And if you're watching this episode, which we hope you are, I am sure that at least one of these bottles you love and probably have on your shelf and probably say that's one of my go-tos because we love all three of these.
Absolutely. And what we've done tonight is set up a blind. Charlie's wife was kind enough to come down and pour for us. So even though these bottles are in a particular order, the glasses in front of them are not. We have no idea what is in each glass. And we've picked three of not only our favorites, but probably if you asked 100 bourbon drinkers, 80, 90 of them would say Woodford doubleoaked or 1910 if you ask them to name their favorite doubleoaked bourbons.
And in the last couple of years, Peerless Distilling, which we are big fans of, have really come hard for the crown of King of the Double Oaks, and they may have claim to that crown, and we're going to find out. That's one of the reasons we're doing this episode.
We're going to do a blind episode and see which one is best in our eyes.
Absolutely.
And it'll be interesting to see if you and I agree or disagree on which one's best.
So we just did an episode about blind barrels, the gift set from Fred Minnick that is 4 samples and they're completely blind. You taste them and then you scan, you find out what they are. And it turns out Glenn and I are idiots and we don't know what we're talking about. This is the fun thing about blinds, is that it takes all your preconceived notions out of it. Now, and this is a little different from a psychological standpoint because your brain is going to try to fit everything you're tasting into one of these 3 boxes.
Well, yeah, and it's a little different too because with the blind barrels, we were trying to guess mash bills and trying to guess age and proof. We're not trying to do any of that here. We have all the information on all these bottles. We're just trying to say which one's our favorite, which one's number 1, number 2, number 3.
And
now let's talk about
which one is which.
Yeah.
So real quick on the.
We want to do that too.
Well, yeah, we got to figure out. So real quick on the rundown, the tried and true Old Fine whiskey from Old Forester, the 1910 Double Oak. This is your normal 72 1810 mash bill from Old Forester, twice barreled.
One of my favorites. One of my favorite go-to all-time.
Absolutely.
bourbons.
Next to him is Woodford Reserve Double Oaked Single Barrel. This is a single barrel selection I picked up from Total Wine here in Louisville, Kentucky. Same brown form mash bill, 72 1810, 90.4 proof here. The 1910 is 93 proof, and the highest proof that we have in the offering today is 108.3 proof from Peerless, their double oaked.
Absolutely. This is the 11th.
This is batch 11.
Yes.
That's right. So they're all in the realm. The Peerless is slightly higher in proof, so maybe that's an indicator for us. Maybe we can flesh that out as we're drinking. As I said, we don't know what's in any of these glasses, so we're just going to grab a set and kind of jump in and see where it goes.
These are age stated.
No age statement on any of them. MSRPs really quickly. This one, because it's a single barrel, was $74.99.
Usually about 60.
Usually between 50 and 60 bucks. Woodford Reserve Double Oak, pretty readily available. The 1910 retails for around 50 bucks, between 50 and 60. The most expensive of the bunch is the Peerless. That bottle retails for around 99 bucks.
All right. Never met anyone who doesn't like Woodford Double Oak. Used to be my favorite until the 1910. And I love the Peerless as well. Let's get into this. So,
do we want to move our bottles down?
Yeah, let's move the bottles.
We're going to move our bottles down. So they're here. You know what they look like.
Let's just move them out of the way.
And you know what? We're just going to get them out of shot. There we go. All right. We're starting over there.
So these should correspond.
Yeah, these 2 are the same. These 2 are the same. These 2 are the same. So
sure, she poured them.
That's what she said. If not, it's going to be a fun episode, and we'll film the reaction. So
let's get the color. Really nice, almost a red.
Reddish brown. Really a beauty. Doesn't,
To the glass.
I get a little ring at the top, and
Yeah.
boy, it's viscous though. It doesn't want to move around much. It's like syrup. Well, that's double oaked. So the first thing that just jumps out at you in any double oaked product is that big vanilla bomb. I don't know what it is, but vanilla, burnt sugar.
Yeah, you got it. You nailed it.
And
Sugar, vanilla, just all day long.
it almost tastes, it almost has a cocktail smell to it because it's so sweet and so, so excited. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Very crisp, this one is. Not as,
Yeah.
I know this isn't very descriptive, but not as deep.
Heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not as heavy.
I was really surprised at the sweetness from the nose really doesn't carry over to the palate. It's a really kind of crisp. You knocked it out of the park with that description. It's light and airy. There's not a ton of sweetness. It's there. A little bit of tingle from a little bit of rye spice, and then you're left with just that real oaky, tannic, dark chocolate. But it doesn't hang around long. What I'm finding, and I drank a little second glass, a little second sip, I get a nice little rye spice tingle, like right in the back middle of my tongue, and it just kind of lingers there. And a lot of the finish, it's not as oaky as I expected on the finish. It's more of a little rye spice tingle.
To be honest, a little watered down.
So the lowest proof we have is the 90.4. Could this be the Woodford Reserve single
That
barrel?
would be my guess at this point.
Okay.
That may change.
Which one? Well, we just going right in the middle?
Yeah,
All right, let's go to this one. You palate cleansed? We have a sip of water?
This one is
Boy, this one seems darker than the other one.
a little bit darker, yeah.
All right, go a little comparison. Oh yeah, a little shade darker.
A
Yeah,
little more viscous.
this has a really nice red hue to it, and yeah, that puts a nice ring and a lot of legs.
This
So-
is interesting. This almost has more of a,
Spicy?
yeah, almost like a little higher rye mash bill.
Yeah, I get a lot of spice, a little bit more ethanol. The first thing I thought is, oh, maybe this is, because your mind plays tricks on you. Now I'm looking for that alcohol. Any hint I can get,
Right.
could this be
Maybe
the
this is
Peerless?
the Peerless,
A little bit
My
more
thoughts exactly.
alcohol, but
I'm
all
trying not to
the
say this stuff because I don't want to.
you don't want your palate to hear.
Well, and I don't want you to hear. Like I want us to have our own thoughts and our own.
Let's see.
It's to me, a little more oaky.
Yeah.
A little bit more of the bittersweet chocolate notes to it.
So the oak comes through almost immediately. Big oaky tannic. But what I get kind of below that is a fruitiness.
Really?
Yeah, I'm getting like almost like a cherry fruit, like a bitter cherry. Like there is definitely some fruitiness to this, especially on the front, and it kind of lingers through mid palate. I'm not getting the alcohol, the ethanol that I get on the nose. It's not it's not going through to the palate too.
Nice. And I do see what you're saying. There is some, like a chocolate coverage.
There's something that just hits on your palate and kind of makes you salivate a little bit, like a little bit of fruit, almost like eating a gusher or something.
Yeah. Definitely a little more depth of flavor than the first one.
So
More of a finish, a more substantial finish.
yeah, I feel this one, and again, you hit the nail on the head. This one is oaky from start to finish. It really is, and it's really nice oaky tobacco. I'm freaking out now because we have one left.
I know.
And
if this doesn't just really stand out.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I have no idea, because I thought for sure as much of the 1910 as I have drank, and I'm sure you have drank, as much of the Peerless, and I know this is a different batch, but I mean, how many bottles of Woodford Reserve Double Oak do you think you've drank in your life?
I wouldn't want to say.
I don't know what these are.
And it's been since early last year since I've had the Peerless Double Oak, but these are 3 bottles that I feel like I should be able to pinpoint which is which very easily.
Often by nose. Here you go, sir. Let's see if... Now, I feel like this is the darkest of the bunch.
Yes, I feel
like that's... You know what? Holding it up to the second one, it's not that much darker. It's almost like just a different shade. Got that on camera.
Second episode, right?
Second episode.
Well, while I have an opportunity.
Oh, there you go. Hey, lemons in the lemonade, baby. Well, I will tell you this about this one. Is number one, love that. It's dark and it's viscous and it puts, I mean, it's got some cling to it for sure.
You ready?
Ready. No, I'm nosing. I haven't even nosed yet.
Oh, you haven't nosed?
Have you?
Where have you been?
Watching you rub your hands together. So this one, huge vanilla bomb again.
Now see, the first note I get on this one is cherry. Like, to me, this is cherry. Cherry cola.
I'm not getting, oh, okay. I see where maybe you're getting that cola from. See, mine almost tastes like cherry vanilla Coke. Are you excited? He just wants to go home.
What the hell?
Dark chocolate covered cherry.
That is really... I'm so conflicted. Because that has a lot of flavor. That chocolate, cherry. But it's also very crisp.
Yeah. It's almost if you mixed both of them together.
And I almost don't get any.
It almost tastes, it almost tastes like a cocktail, like a ready to drink. Like you would get something that was like 40 or 50 proof.
And there's zero burn at all.
I get a little bit of rye spice on my finish, on the sides of my tongue. That's, oh man, I really like that one. Now I think I know what this one is. I really do. Cleaning up some of Glenn's.
I think I do too, but I need to go back and taste it.
All right. You going back to taste everything again?
Yeah. I hate to do that. But...
Well, I will tell you this, and this is what's fun to do. And you can do this. Most of these are shelfers, right? And even if you don't have the Peerless, you don't want to spend the hundo, which you should because it's great, is picking like bourbons. One of the things that when I first really started getting into bourbon, and one of the first bottles that I got, quick story time with Charlie, was the Henry McKenna. We found a place online that had Henry McKenna for $19.99, free shipping when you order over $200. And me and a couple of buddies got together and we ordered 10 cases of Henry McKenna, and we split it up. He was not involved. I didn't even know you then.
Right.
But we bought 10 cases of Henry McKenna, and each of us got a couple bottles and cases, and we squirreled them away. And one of the most fun things that we did was we did bottled in bond battles. Mm-hmm. And you would go to the store and you get Old Grandad bottled in bond and Heaven Hill bottled in bond. And that's the comparison of it, is which one do you like? And then you can start narrowing down your mash bill and what you like from there, and your age, et cetera, et cetera. So these are fun things that you can do at home without breaking the bank. Which one did you go back to? The Glencairn?
Yeah. I feel like I know what that one is. I feel very confident. And if I'm wrong on this one, I'm going to be very disappointed.
So here is where, do we want to start talking about how we're narrowing it down? Or are we just going to cut the episode and not tell anybody what we're doing?
No, yeah, go ahead.
Here is my thought process.
Okay.
I am pretty sure I know what number 3 is by both smell, nose, and taste.
Okay.
I just went back to number 1 and it was pretty good. I am pretty sure I know what number 1 is just by nose alone. The palate is messing with me on number 1, but I think there's a reason for that. But I think just by nose alone, I think I know what number 1 is.
I think I'm very confident what number 1 is as well. I'm fairly confident on the other 2, but I think because I'm not as familiar with the Peerless Double Oak as I am with the other 2, I could be wrong on this one. But that's why I'm going back in.
I like how you say, I'm not as familiar with Peerless, and you immediately grab the second one that I also grabbed. Okay. Do you feel like you're ready to make...
All right, do we want to rank them first, or do we want to give our guesses on what they are?
I think we are professionals, and if you're watching this, you know we are highly trained professionals who have the highest level of integrity. I think let's see if we can get these right, and then we'll rank and say which ones we like better. Because I don't think it's going to matter because we have these on the bar anyways. So which one do you think the first one we drank, the Glencairn is?
I think this is the Woodford Double Oak.
I agree with you. So that's what we think this one is. What do you think the second one that we drank is?
I'm going to say the Peerless.
I think it has to be the Peerless because...
When we tasted through the first time, I thought maybe, it's the Peerless.
Yep.
I think.
And I think the third has to be the 1910 just because that's what it smells like and it tastes like. So let's start with with what we think is the 1910. So this is marked number 3 on the bottom of ours. Don't dump it out this time. So would you like to reveal to the camera if this has a 3 underneath it? Does it?
Yep.
It has a 3. Look at us. We are professional. 1910. So this one has a 2, as you can see, a 2. I'm not going to flip a glass that has some stuff under it. Does that have a 2 under it?
I think that's a 2. Is that a 2?
I don't know what that is.
What is that? It's your wife?
I'm guessing that's a 2.
Speaking?
So let's see what this one is. That's a 1, so I don't know what that is.
Can you figure that out?
My wife's going to kill me. Yeah, I'm guessing that's a 2. But it's hard to write upside down with the pen. I am proud of us, and I think the only reason we got this right is because the 1910 kind of sorted it out for us.
You know, it's interesting because I expected the Peerless to have the most flavor and pack the most punch. But it came down to just which one was so distinct. And that's why I love the 1910, because to me it's just so full of flavor. Chocolate covered cherries.
I agree with you, except I don't.
Okay.
Because I think that, and this is a personal preference thing, I think that this is in a ranking, in a way, if I was to put them on a spectrum of double oaked, this has the most broad appeal. Because to me, this is the least oaky. It is the most complex, perhaps, where you get more sweetness and the vanilla from the nose carries over and you get some fruit and some chocolate. There is not a ton of true tannic oakiness to it, like a long lingering oaky flavor.
No.
Which, if you're a double oaked fan and that's what you're looking for, the very clear oakiest of the three is the Peerless. Yes. The Peerless is oaky from start to finish.
No doubt.
It leaves you wanting a little more, a splash up front. It is super oaky. Now, the wild card in all this was the single barrel double oaked from Woodford, which smelled and nosed exactly like regular Woodford double oaked,
Yeah.
but it doesn't taste the same. I felt like that was the oakiest Woodford Reserve double oaked I've ever had.
You know what's interesting is when we first tasted number one, the Woodford, it had that crispness to it.
Yeah.
Which that I remembered tasting the Peerless double oaked rye the other day, and that had that same like crispness, that coolness, which I didn't think that was the Peerless because it just wasn't
proofy enough,
like watered down. But then when I tasted the number two, I was like, oh, that has that same crispness too. And I thought that has to be the Peerless.
Kudos to the Peerless also for being 108 proof, which I mean 15 proof, and us not being able to be like, yeah, that's 108 proof.
Yeah.
Like,
I think you could easily tell the Woodford was not. You could tell that was the lowest proof. To me, that was easy right off the bat. Like, that's the Woodford.
yeah. So here's what I come up with. A double oaked for all moods. If I'm in the mood for something with a little sweetness, an easy drinker, an easy sipper, I just want to have that instant gratification and that sweet, savory wonderfulness, it's the 1910. If I want kind of a middle of the road, it's the Woodford Reserve Double Oak. If I want an oak madman and I want to dry my palate out and it's a cold night in Indiana and I want that oaky bourbon goodness, it's the Peerless.
So, what's your number one? Rank them 1 to 3.
Oh, man. You know what? I don't know if I can because I will rate them. I will rate them, but I don't know. For me, they are all supremely drinkable. I would have them on my bar at all times because I do think that they fill a need and are very utilitarian on a bourbon bar.
1, 2, 3.
My mood that I'm in currently right now, I would go 1, 2, 3, but it's very close. Like it's separated by that much.
And I agree. I could definitely swap those two. And don't get me wrong, this is still a great
bottle.
I feel like especially for beginners or people just getting into bourbon.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be. This is obviously a single barrel. The regular Woodford Reserve Double Oaked, which I've got a little baby bottle, baby Woodford Double Oaked, is, I would say this is more like the 1910.
Should we taste that?
Yes, we should. Yes, we should. Don't.
Oh, there's only one glass.
But grab the little dram.
I will put mine in my Woodford glass. It shouldn't be.
Oh, there you go. That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
Dump or just drink yours. Bloop.
We were accused of being alcoholics on YouTube the other day, which we are not.
I'm not an alcoholic. I'm just good at drinking. That's a joke. Drink responsibly.
Believe it or not, the only time we drink is when we get together once every 2 weeks and film these
Literally.
episodes.
Once every 3 days. A little lighter color. Same nose, though. That same big vanilla nose. And that's what really threw me off on that. So I'm anxious to see if this is as oaky as that one is. That tastes like 1910.
I'll tell you what.
That is so sweet.
That has the same crispness.
Yep.
But so much more punch, so much more flavor. And
I think you're thinking, if sweetness is a flavor, which it is, this is very sweet.
When I say sweetness is easy, right?
Yeah.
And they're the same proof, correct?
Mm-hmm.
This drink's proofier to me. It lets you know it's there more. Like the first one we had, the single barrel, it tasted watered down to me. This one, and I don't know if this is more oaky.
Well, this is a fresh pop. This has been open for a little while. That may be part of
That
it.
have something to do with it.
I am going to disagree with you.
I would say this is much more enjoyable.
I feel like this is much more to me. This regular old Woodford Reserve Double Oak is much more to me like the 1910, which it is very sweet and it is very drinkable. It is lower in proof. The Woodford Reserve Single Barrel, I feel like, has more oakiness. It is more of a true double oaked.
Which is what I just said.
You said that this one was more complex.
Oh, this is the one we're drinking now?
Yeah. I like how after the alcoholic talk, he's like, what are we drinking? We're drinking the regular old.
I prefer this one over the single barrel.
Disagree.
Well, that's why we do this. Regardless, these are all great bourbons.
They are. They really are. And
They are. Buy them, drink them.
Yep.
We're 27 minutes in, Charlie. I think people would love for us to wrap this episode up.
Or we could drink more.
And I would love to too, because I'm going to drink some more of this.
Here's what you got to do. Thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure you're getting more hard-hitting content like that. And in that same vein, if there is something or a distillery or a bottle that you think we need to do, make sure to put it in the comments, or you can email us at sointobourbon@gmail.com.
Absolutely. Please do. If there's a bottle that we haven't done that you really love that you want us to do, let us know.
Yeah. Or if there's a local distillery or somebody small that we need to keep an eye on,
Absolutely.
let us know.
Check us out on Instagram, So Into Bourbon, TikTok, Whiskey Realtor, and as always, Charlie, tell them.
You got to keep those wallets loose.
And your bumnose tight.
Good night, everybody.
Peace out.
Double oaked.
Do
you know what 1910 is?
Yes, I do.
Do you know what double oaked
do.
is? Do you know what Peerless is?
do,
Then I'm
but I
pretty
don't
sure
have
we're
any of the
prepared.
details,
The
so.
details are what there are no details on it. That's not good. My pops are better than yours. Did you film in classes on the last episode?
Yeah.
Look nice. Makes you look smarter. Makes up for some of the words coming out of your mouth. Do I need to make
understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
double oak? Let's get oaky.